Ladies and germs, it is Groovy Chick Free for All Night. Straight ahead on Night Talk on the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. That's right.
Studio A. Here's John McIntyre.
Hi, everybody. Live and in color from High Top Television Hill, Studio A. Georgie Porgy, the animal parfait. AJ, your Brock candy baby is hard, sweet, and sticky. It's AJ Brock. That was the nickname we came up with him. One of the behind-the-scenes guys. Also, Richard Suffern, Succotash, Sylvester, and I think Michelle, the Sweet Pickle Quickle. Look at the incredible Groovy Chicks on Groovy Chick Free for All Night. We got your Carol Lee Espy from On Cue. We got your State Senator Melissa Hart from Harrisburg and/or Bradford Woods.
There we go.
And we got your the lovely and talented Lynn Cullen from WPTT and general media icon and all-around groovy gal. Welcome, you guys.
Hey, good to see you.
Are you getting up early tomorrow morning and going to some Ticketmaster outlet? Because Bruce Springsteen tickets go on sale tomorrow at 10 in the morning. You go to your Ticketmaster, you wait in line, and I understand they got some fare system where they're going to give you, numbers, so even if you get there a little late, you have a chance to not get screwed.
Is there something wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great idea.
I was going to be here.
I just figured you were 3 rock and rollers and you'd be up early.
I wouldn't have to do that. I'd probably just somehow get there.
Oh, because you're the Rusted Root wife person, and so you got connections in the music world.
I didn't think they went on sale till 10.
That's what I say. If I didn't say that, that's true. They don't go on sale till 10.
Yeah, well, that's early.
Right.
Oh, you're saying get in line.
Oh, you mean you lawmakers can't get your butts out of bed before 10 in the morning? Is that what you're saying?
Right, no. Pick up the phone. Call on the phone. But you should see. Have you ever seen Bruce Springsteen? Oh, yes. I mean, it's several.
See, I have not. I passed up an opportunity when I was like in the 70s, and I'd been out too late the night before, and a guy had 13th row seats, and I passed. And then he made fun of me for the rest of my life.
That was
because
foolish.
He said it was the best concert he'd ever been to.
Yeah.
So
he's a great performer. It's like rock and roll revival. It's
great performer.
You've seen it?
Oh, yeah, several times.
Both of you?
Oh, yeah.
Several times?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
He's marvelous.
Were you doing any drugs back then?
Absolutely not.
I don't believe her.
The only other person I saw put on a better show was Mick Jagger.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who is that? Now, does that? So are we all aging baby boomers? I am. I mean, I'm
on the most aged baby boomer here.
Wide span. I think we might all fit.
No, I'm much older than the rest of you.
If you were born between 46 and 64, as I understand it, technically you're a baby boomer.
We all fit.
Really?
We all qualify?
Oh, yeah.
We're in there.
We fit.
All right, so are we pathetic then because all we listen to is, the likes of Springsteen and the Stones? And then maybe that's not true in your case.
We listen to Rusted Root.
And Rusted Root.
God bless you.
Well, they cross
Why
the
is
entire
that
spectrum.
pathetic? That was great music.
I don't know.
Kids today are still listening to that
Well, that's
music.
true.
That will be classic music. It is classic music.
And
it will live.
We don't only listen to that. I mean, we listen to newer things.
That's true.
Like Sister Hazel and stuff like that.
All right, so isn't it a crime that I didn't necessarily mean to get off on this tangent?
The Clark?
But have you heard of this Macy Gray woman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a CD of it.
Well, okay, just my girlfriend bought it a month ago. Otherwise, I'd be even more ignorant than I already am.
Mm-hmm.
But fortunately, it's great. It's the best damn new artist out there.
She's wonderful.
Yet, Christina Aguilera beat Macy Gray at the Grammys in the Best New Artist
That's
category.
popular. I mean, come on. Christina Aguilera can't hold a candle to Macy Gray.
I think it's apples and oranges.
Oh,
Really?
no. It's like,
Why?
it's like apples and prunes on the side of the road stepped on by
They're just
scummy
different.
people.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera has a marvelous voice, but it's the music she sings is it's garbage.
Well, at least she can sing.
Yeah, she's got a marvelous voice.
I think they're threatened by Macy Gray because she was much bigger than the other presenters on the Grammy.
You mean like physically?
I mean,
She's a big woman.
I was wondering. I was kind of thinking, she wasn't a man at one time, was she? I mean, she was like...
Really?
Yeah, but in that crowd, all the women are these anorexic women bearing their breasts and other body parts.
Hey,
I mean,
speaking of women bearing their breasts, we have actual video of award-winning women bearing their breasts, and that is next when we come back on Groovy Chick Free for All Night on Night Talk on the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. Don't go anywhere, okay? Said I.
Night Talk is sponsored in part by McCardle Surgical. Access your world.
Groovy Chick Free for All Night continues on Night Talk with a cast of thousands and Carol Lee Espy, State Senator Melissa Hart, and Lynn Cullen. So everybody's talking about, I don't know if they're all talking about it for a while, but a few people were talking about the Jennifer Lopez dress. Let's go to
that wasn't a dress?
at the Grammys, ladies and gentlemen. You've probably seen this before, but it's certainly worth another look, don't you think?
It's a scarf.
Who the hell is that guy next to her, by the way? Is that David Duchovny?
Yeah, David Duchovny. Who?
It is. Okay.
Look for his hand. He's pointing.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever saw?
Nobody ever determined exactly what she was wearing underneath.
They said it's a scarf. What?
I mean, okay, now here, you remember Little Kim from the MTV Awards?
Yeah. Well, didn't Diana Ross touch her there, and then Diana Ross got mad because someone touched her there at Heathrow Airport?
Right. That's very true.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, no, Diana Ross. Yeah.
And now here would be the Courtney Love, which actually seems not quite as revealing or shocking or titillating, pardon the expression.
Oh,
Looks
whatever.
Like Stevie Nicks, but wilder.
And then finally, the lovely and talented Britney Spears, who allegedly had a growth spurt at some point and was spurting here at some sort of, I don't know what actual award ceremony this was. So what is my question to you, you might ask? I don't know. My question to you is there anything wrong with this? Is it really cool? Is it artists expressing themselves? Or is it shameless hussies out on parade? And we ought to be ashamed of them. Or something else altogether.
And look, nobody knows. Well, certainly, I mean, first of all, the clothes are ugly, okay? It's ugly. And it leaves nothing to the imagination, which takes a lot of pleasure away from people. And it's not particularly sexy, and it is gross. You want me to be the old baby boomer? I'll be the old baby. It's pathetic.
Be whatever you like.
I mean, what is the point of what Lopez wore? Why doesn't she just come out naked? What is the point of that?
Weren't you know, back when you were a hippie in a commune stirring large pots of soup, weren't all the women naked?
No.
All right, never mind.
As a matter of fact, we wore long dresses and combat boots and long hair. I mean, there was nothing
There's a thing called the halter top, for God's sake.
See?
Right.
Now, I don't know what actually we expect.
You expect people to be clothed.
They're in show business. They are on stage. They're entertainers. They want
there has been show business, people on stage, and entertainers for all of humankind. And only now, with the exception maybe of when cave people were wandering around, were they dressed like that.
Remember Cher?
Thank you very much.
Several years ago, Cher had some pretty revealing outfits.
Well, Cher was 19, she wore pretty revealing outfits.
And this is why we tune in anyway. We tune in to see that people tune in to see Cher used to come in the most outrageous outfits.
Yes. It's a slippery slope, though, isn't it? I mean, if you have to keep one-upping, what are they going to be wearing, let's see, in 2003?
It's something
You're a Republican! What is wrong with you?
Well, look, she's dressed appropriate.
In your card. What is this? You're a conservative Republican.
It's a fashion show.
She's pretending to be a moderate Republican before the election, Lynn.
Oh, I don't know. You're a Republican.
She is a Republican.
I'm the
very
liberal
good
Democrat.
Skin.
What's going on here?
You're my friend for life.
Great skin. I do have to say, I'm sitting here just amazed. This is great Republican skin we're looking at.
Because they don't abuse their body.
That's it.
Right.
You know, Lynn is only shocked because she's become much more conservative since she had her son Sam. Since Sam became, since he came into the picture.
And I understand, because you don't, I mean, this is on a prime time. You don't need Sam looking at this stuff.
That's not why I'm reacting this way.
I mean, you just
I don't even know that that's true. I'm just trying to bait her into a reaction.
No, and
I think your point about no nothing with the imagination, it's tasteless.
It's totally tasteless. I am so sick of it, I can't see straight.
Entertainment.
This is what entertainment is, and Who Wants to Marry a Million? I mean, we are pathetic. The popular culture is pathetic.
Is there anything you like, anything that you've seen?
Where is Johann Sebastian Bach?
But back in the 50s, they said this about Elvis. They said it about Little Richard. You know?
You know, someday they're going to say it, and they're going to be right, though.
But I mean,
actually, and Little Richard used to wear the same outfits as well, so there's a parallel.
You know, and there, I hate to even go out on this limb, but there's also an artistic bend to some of it, and there's a fashion bend to some of it.
It's art.
This is the place where they display it, and they're all exhibitionists.
Display would be the right word.
You know, and so then it's up to other people who are in entertainment to do it tastefully, and there's always that balance.
Jennifer Lopez's breasts are art. That's what I've been saying all along.
Well, you know, whatever. She has a great body. It's a good thing that someone in a really bad body didn't put that on, and she has a great body, and she wears
Isn't it interesting that men don't dress like that? What is it? It's just the women who bear their... What if a man walks up with his you-know-what hanging out? Will we all react in the same, oh, well, you know, he's an entertainer.
They don't have to.
We expect it. They have to be on the edge. It's art.
They don't have to. That's the whole thing.
And women don't have to either.
Well,
that's probably true.
They shouldn't have to.
They don't have to.
But was there any woman...
Did Macy Gray, what was she wearing?
Nothing that revealing.
She looked outrageous.
Did any woman who received an award come up on... I didn't watch it. Did they come up looking tasteful and, attractive at the same time?
I don't know. I didn't see the damn Grammys.
I'm still a bogey. I have not watched the Grammys in so long because I can't stand watching those disgusting...
I'm just bored. I'm bored by all award shows. I never watch them.
Too long.
They bore the hell out of me.
All they have to do is read the list and then you're done.
All right, well, speaking of women degrading themselves, there was, of course, the thing we have to talk about because it's a law, Who Wants to Marry a Multimillionaire with Rick Rockwell, and we'll get to that immediately on Groovy Chick Free for All Night when we come back on the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel.
The official transportation provider of Night Talk is Pittsburgh Limousine. Whether it's for business or a special night on the town, Pittsburgh Limousine is the one clear choice in transportation.
Back on Groovy Chick Free for All Night with three of the grooviest damn chicks this side of the Mississippi and an enormous studio audience. Front page of the USA Today, why people will do almost anything to get on TV, or at least that was the premise of the article, featuring the lovely, what's her name, Rick Rockwell's lovely wife?
Darva.
Darva, yes. So before we get to Rick Rockwell and his lovely wife, will people, is the premise of this article accurate, or did they just spin it because of the Darva thing? Will people still do almost anything to get on television? It talks about people waiting in the cold in the Today Show just for, 10 seconds with, I guess it's not Willard anymore, with Al Roker, whoever the hell's on. And because they're so desperate for much less their 15 minutes of fame, they're 10 seconds of fame. I guess that's still true. Is that pathetic or is that normal?
Well, what did you do to get on television?
I moved to Pittsburgh and, produced my own freaking cable show.
And what did we have to do to get on television?
Yeah, what have we done?
That sounds like a power move.
It seems a little John. It seems a little disingenuous for any of us who find ourselves on television to be, seemingly patronize anybody who would do something.
All right, I didn't know what the hell else to do when I went to college, all right? I couldn't do anything. I didn't know how to do anything. I didn't know anything. I figured the media was the natural course. That's my excuse.
Well, media's hot. It's where it is, right? It's where it is. Of course everybody wants to be on it. It makes you bigger than life. You
know what? But they only want to be on national TV. They're not dying to be on local cable that much, I can tell you, for example. Like Rick Rockwell's uncle wouldn't do the damn show the other night.
Oh, really?
You have to beg people just to come up here.
And you didn't say, it's a springboard. It's a springboard to national. You're on your way.
And in fact, a reporter went to his house, one of the Channel 11 reporters, and he talked to her. But he didn't want to get his butt up off the damn couch, get the Doritos off his lap, and come down to the studio.
He wanted to talk to the girl, sorry.
Yes. So you're right, actually.
Smart man.
So it's only national TV. All right, never mind that.
I just don't understand why they want to get on television when what they're going to go through in terms of the loss of their privacy and every name that they're going to be called and that they have been called, why they want to do that on purpose.
I don't think they think that far ahead. I tend to believe her when she says she did it as a lark to get to Las Vegas, to be on TV and wave to her mother. I don't think it ever occurred to her that she might get picked. She didn't see the competition. Maybe she'd seen the competition. She would have figured, gee, maybe I do have a shot here. And if you've seen, I didn't see the show, but I saw the moment where he chose her. She looked like the most terrified human being. All of a sudden, her smile was gone. She was shaking. I mean, and I think it was at that moment that she thought, what the heck have I done? And that's pretty much what she says.
But this has got to be not a very bright person. I mean,
no, I think she is, though. Did you hear her? She's well-spoken.
Where are her values? Does she have any? I mean,
I don't think she thought it would happen. I don't think she thought it would happen. It was
Well, you're right, because they all figured the odds were 1 in 50, I suppose, when they showed up.
1 in 100? No, there were more than that.
Were there more than 50?
People play the lottery and they think they're going to win.
How come none of you have taken offense to them calling you all chicks, by the way? I'm glad. And to me, it's a term of endearment.
Okay.
Oh, all right, yeah. Anyway,
from this guy.
I find them to be 50 pathetic excuses for women, and Rick Rockwell is equally, if not more so, a pathetic excuse for a man, so I'm not just saying the women are pathetic.
They're just tarred with the same
brush.
brush.
It's just gross.
And what about the network that came up with the show? And what about everybody who watched it?
But they're embarrassed.
I didn't watch it, but I can't necessarily say. I was only because I was working. I might have if I'd have been at home. I don't know what I would have.
Oh, maybe it's even worse to have watched it. Then you're watching these people make fools of themselves for your own entertainment. So, I mean, where do you draw the... At what point do we get off off our high horses.
But all of humanity likes to look at other people who are hopefully lesser just to feel superior, don't they? Isn't that just like human nature?
I think that's true to some degree, sure.
Yeah.
But I think this was just such a bizarre
Why people watch this
curiosity.
show?
Well, they've gone as far as they can go with the dating game. They've gone as far as they can go with the blind date, the love connection, the blind date, and all these horrible blind date shows. So they've gone as far, so they just went that extra step, and they just went,
Certainly did.
Have you heard what Fox has now backed away from? Something that was in the works. They were intending to do a show. They were going to do a show in which they were going to crash a 747 on live television into the desert.
And presumably this would have been done electronically?
Well, it would have had to, yeah, obviously.
well,
I didn't know how far they'd gone.
We're going to have an ejector seat.
I think it might have been on it.
The same guy who came up with this idea had that idea. It was one of his hottest ideas. And do you not think we would have been plastered to our sets to watch that plane come down?
Everybody got bored with like Evel Knievel killing himself trying to jump over many motorcycles. And I think his son was going to do it on Fox a couple of years ago, and it didn't work out. But I still would like to trash Darva Conger some more.
Why?
Because when she was on Good Morning America, she was acting like the victim, I thought. And just sort of saying, oh, gosh, I didn't know what I was getting into, and then suddenly I looked at her and I was mad. Oh, come on, you're an idiot then. You're a moron.
I would take that.
No, you're not. You're a fish out of water. You are media
She's an
savvy.
idiot for getting involved.
And we're media savvy. She's a human being who thought this would be.
Woman.
Yeah. Nobody knows the media till they get in its maw. And what happened to her is, even if she wanted to back away after this mistake, then she had Diane Sawyer, Matt Lauer, all these hot people saying, you've got to come on and explain yourself. You have got to come on. So she continues to be exploited. She continues to let television take pieces of her when what she needs to do, and would that somebody would get a hold of her and say, Darva, go home to your mom and your brother who you care for, and go back to your job and shut
And get a new name.
I almost felt like that time that she disappeared, that she actually was sitting with a spin doctor figuring out, and someone was telling her what to say when she went on TV. I felt like she was a little rehearsed. I felt like maybe she was in this strange denial thing, I didn't inhale kind of thing, that I didn't buy it. I think that she wanted to be in the limelight, although didn't know how big it could explode in her face.
Well, what about they want the money?
Kind of like Monica Lewinsky.
I mean, these women.
Monica Lewinsky was a bit younger.
Yeah.
I give Monica Lewinsky just a little bit of that young. We've all done such dumb things when we were young,
Yeah.
you know. And
I know. I can't tell you how many people I know who had oral sex with the president.
No, I mean, I think she's old enough to have had a little bit more life experience.
She's also old enough to know better than to do this. I mean, you know, we're ignoring the fact that this woman was on a show that was called what? Who Wants to Marry a Millionaire?
A
multi-millionaire. To heck with a
Well,
millionaire.
everybody does, but they don't go on TV and do it to some perfect stranger.
Oh, everybody does?
Well, sure, don't you?
I
In
suppose.
Vegas. Happens a lot in Vegas.
Well,
I
it
understand.
has been pointed out. What is the difference between that and prostitution?
Right.
What's the difference? Sex
Better
or money?
venue.
Sex
At
or
least,
money?
apparently she had the good, at least according to the published report, she had the good sense not to sleep with Rick Rockwell.
Yeah, that would have made it a little sticky, you know.
Oh, hey, now.
In the legal.
But
in
there
the legal-
again, I mean,
Yeah.
there again, she gets on her, you know, saying, I can't imagine what he was thinking the way he kissed me, and that he would think that I was going to, you know, like consummate. Hello? Yeah, she said that, you know, I wouldn't kiss somebody like that I just met. No, but you'd marry him.
Plus, since when you're not allowed to sleep with somebody you just met?
That's right. We're all baby boomers.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Now, I don't
You
buy
guys clam
the
up
she's
all
an
of a sudden.
old-fashioned girl thing. I just don't buy it. It's just crazy.
All
It's
right.
just nuts.
All right, let's take a break, shall we? And then we'll find something else to yap about. Hopefully it'll be just as scintillating on Groovy Chick Free for all night on Night Talk. Stick around.
Night Talk is sponsored in part by Highfield Open MRI, the strongest open magnet in Pittsburgh.
Have a fun.
Back on Groovy Chick Free for all Night Talk night with cast of thousands in the studio audience, Carol, Melissa, Lynn. By the way, a point of cultural clarification occurred during the commercial break. Carol was explaining to us that it is normal for those in the Latin culture, like the lovely and talented Jennifer Lopez, to perhaps show a little bit of skin as part of their sort of artsy, you know, hot-blooded Latin nature.
Speaking as an Episcopalian, yes, I think that's true. Yeah.
What is that, Eddie? Is that like Catholic
Yeah,
Light? What is that?
Episcopalian. Yeah. I actually think that it's just a different thing. She's part of a club scene, too. She's part of a musical scene. She's part of a dance scene. You know, a little less clothing. Yes, it's cultural.
Okay, thanks. Point of cultural clarification. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. Did you see all these diet doctors? They got together at the Department of Agriculture for some unknown reason this week in Washington, and they yelled at each other about whose diet was any good. The Zone guy was there. The Atkins diet guy was there. A bunch of other freaky
Dean
diet
Ornish,
people were there.
the no-fat guy.
Dean Ornish, the no-fat guy, was there. If you didn't see it here, it would be a report from one of those second-stringer guys for NBC News.
Bring the nation's most popular diet doctors together, and a food fight ensues. It starts at this Washington Nutrition Forum when Dr. Robert Atkins claims his best-selling high-protein diet reverses heart disease.
And I haven't been able to fund a study. I've asked
excuse me, 10 million books in print and you can't fund the study?
Now I can. And I will be the first doctor to dig into his own pocket to do a study. And
The government sponsors this debate to help dieters determine whose advice to take. Atkins is here, so is The Zone author, Dr. Barry Sears, and Eat More, Weigh Less author, Dr. Dean Ornish, and others. Nearly 1 out of 2 Americans is overweight, 1 in 4 obese. We spend some $25 billion a year on diet books and supplements, a large chunk of it going to Atkins and other high-protein advocates.
I predict that my diet will be the first diet to achieve the long-term effectiveness award.
Ornish advocates a very low-fat diet, heavy in fruits and vegetables.
You know, telling people that pork rinds and sausage is good for you is an appealing way to sell books, but I think it's irresponsible.
We found a point of agreement.
As rancorous as it gets here, the diet gurus agree long-term studies of their plans need to be done over a period of years. Weight-conscious Americans might ask, who has years? It's almost swimsuit season. The diet doctors do agree on one other thing. They say we eat too much junk. I don't need a diet book to tell me that. I do need change for $1. Jim Hatchett, NBC News, Washington.
What a card. Did you see that Dean Ornish guy? He looks like Arlen Specter's illegitimate son.
Across between that and Art Garfunkel.
Don't start something going.
And of course, Arlen gets around, doesn't he? Doesn't Arlen, he's got an eye for the ladies, doesn't he?
Will you stop? You know, you are shameless.
He's one of those Gemrati Republicans, isn't he?
Hey now.
Good Lord.
Hey now.
You ever notice like these people that do the diets, they look like, you know, they've been dragged through the ringer, and you kind of think,
Yeah, I guess those people don't look that healthy, do they?
No.
I didn't think of
Yeah,
that.
they shouldn't be out there advertising for their diet. I don't know
So-
if I'd buy the book to look like Atkins.
Have you guys tried any of these things?
You know, it's strange you should ask
Yeah?
this.
Yeah? Well,
Because
please.
just 2 days ago, I started doing, I thought, I know it's bad for you, but apparently it works. I started doing essentially the Atkins thing with, you know, like heavy on meat, no fruit, no. Tonight, I couldn't stand it anymore. Right before I came out, I was actually feeling ill. It is an abuse of your body. My stomach was in. No wonder you lose weight. You feel sick. Not only that, I understand. I didn't wait to hang. I'm not going to do it anymore until I find out. You get body odor. You have bad breath. I mean, what? I mean, we want to be thin. Well, anyway.
Thank you for getting off the diet, Lynn.
Oh. I got off it. I only did 2 days of it, and I really felt sick. Your body goes into some kind of a state. What is it? Ketosis is called, or something?
Yeah.
Well, it's awful. Of course, the way to lose weight is stop eating so much. That's all.
Yes, and
That's
exercise
all.
more.
Everything in
Eat less,
moderation.
exercise more.
all that kind of stuff.
Rent a toddler.
What?
So what?
Rent a toddler.
That is true.
another
Rent a
good one.
That is
3-year-old.
true.
You will lose weight like that.
All right, so you tried Atkins for a little while, and you tried one of these
I
things?
did the Zone.
Me too. I did the Zone.
Zone's
the
great.
Zone?
What's the Zone?
The Zone is actually
Protein.
kind of somewhere. It's a modified.
Carbs are very
Atkins.
bad, but you do, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
just a couple of
Little
more
bit.
carbs than the protein.
Yeah.
Like if you get a TV dinner and it says 22 carbs and 20 protein, you're like on the money,
Yeah.
roughly.
Oh, okay.
Allegedly, it's supposed to have some sort of cool effect on your body and help you lose weight without...
food
The
Finding.
combination.
But at least
Did
you
it
do
work?
use carbs.
Okay, so excuse
It
me.
worked
that
for me for a
worked,
while,
did it work?
but then when I started sitting on my butt for the last several weeks because it was winter,
Comes back.
it didn't work so much. So I couldn't figure out if it was the exercise from before. But initially, I thought it was working. Did it work for you?
I got pregnant on it, so I don't know.
You better get off
Well,
the diet.
I
A lot of good you are.
Well, you know what
Missy.
happened is it actually, I was if you work out, which is the #1 key, if you work out and you do some, a little bit of weight training, aerobic weight training along with it, if you're doing a diet like the Zone, you really do build muscle mass. So when you build muscle mass, you burn. You get like this really good little factory.
Aerobic weight training. Do you have to run down the street while you lift weights or something?
Exactly.
Can't you do it separately?
You have to push a car up a hill.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
No, it's just keeping the heart rate up and also lifting weights. It's
Okay, so you can do them
It's
separately.
called raising your metabolism and burning calories. I lost 30 pounds about 2 years ago on and here I am trying to lose again, which shows this is what's wrong with dieting. And either you incrementally sort of change bad behaviors having to do with food and moderate, or it doesn't stay off. I mean, sure, I took 30 off. I put 15 back on. Now I'm fighting to get those off. It's ridiculous. But I took the 30 off by doing lots of fruits and vegetables, a little bit of meat, and not much bread and pasta and stuff like that, but a little bit of everything, and it worked. It really worked.
I've definitely been brainwashed that carbs are bad. Now, do we have a consensus
That's
on this?
nonsense.
Well,
no.
Is it nonsense?
They send different signals
I mean,
to
I
your
stopped
body.
drinking grapefruit juice with my vodka because of that,
No, I
because
think-
there's carbs in fruit.
I think we traditionally eat a lot more carbs than we need. I mean, if you probably, as an average American, cut half of them out, you're probably doing okay. I mean, the bread. People just go crazy.
Right, in the
Eat
Zone
too
book,
much
I kept
bread,
flashing
too
back to a
much
line where it
pizza.
said, they fatten up cattle with grain. Hello, bread
Yeah,
is
that's
bad.
exactly right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It also
Yeah, the heart diet, though.
it makes you
Especially with
retain
some
water.
pasta and a little
Yeah.
sauce.
You
Does it?
retain water with breads, and
a bad thing,
also
too.
it sends it, because carbohydrates have so much sugar in them. It sends a signal to your system to store.
And it gets complicated
Store,
because
store,
you've
store.
got to learn the various kinds of carbohydrates, right? There are
Right.
good carbs and bad carbs, and even vegetables have too many carbs according to the Zone anyway. Some vegetables.
Certain ones.
Is
I
it
like the
carrots?
Zone, though.
Carrots bad?
Oh, Lord.
I tried to memorize it all.
You know how
Cranberries. Don't eat cranberries, for God's sake.
Cranberries bad?
Don't
Right.
eat cranberries.
Oh,
no.
they're the greatest.
all food is good. Quite clearly, our problem
Especially
is
chocolate.
we have too
Earth
much of
Mother
it
speaks.
and too much time on our hands and not enough real worries in our life if this is the kind of nonsense we're talking about.
We need to walk more.
I mean, think of what we've talked about.
I need to drop a
Jennifer
few. I eat more,
Lopez's breast,
more heavy
Darva
lettuce.
Conger and her who knows what, and now our peas bad or something.
I bet she's on all protein.
Jennifer?
I bet Jennifer Lopez eats like all protein. I just have a feeling.
Really?
Why?
Just because she's lean.
meaty?
She's so lean and
So
and it
eating
gives
all
her
that meat
energy.
does give your body sort of a lean look, whether you lose weight or not? Or is that the theory, or is that how it's
Well,
supposed to work?
protein
Sort of like
gives
a
you a lot
lion.
of energy.
If she's eating
Yeah.
what her culture would tell her to eat, she's eating a lot of vegetables and carbohydrates,
You guys are trying.
a lot of beans and rice.
You're in trouble.
All right, back in a moment. More yammering on Groovy Chick Free for all night on Night Talk on the Pittsburgh Cable News Channel. Stay with us.
The official transportation provider of Night Talk is Pittsburgh Limousine, the one clear choice in transportation.
Back on Groovy Chick Free
Editor.
for all night.
You notice the applause is
getting
getting
used
more
to this.
tepid.
I know, exactly. It's kind of more lukewarm.
They're
as it
flagging
goes
over
on,
there.
yeah.
In the
One's asleep.
Yeah, whatever. Lynn Cullen is here along with Melissa Hart and Carol Espy of the program On Cue, where tonight they disrespected a fellow PCNC alumni guy, Big Freddie Hansberger, Alan Cox, the cocky DJ from the afternoon drive thing on the X, sat there next to Fred, and as you can see, his sign said, "I'm with stupid." Now that's what's wrong with this disrespectful media in this day and age, where media icons like Fred are dissed right there on live TV by snot-nosed young punks like that Cox character.
But
How do you explain yourself?
He didn't know what he was getting into, and he's gonna
Fred?
apologize, and he didn't inhale, and he didn't mean to. He signed a prenup, and I'm
Alan.
going to say all the buzzwords.
That's
you know.
good.
How do you know he's going to sit on that side?
Oh, they always sit
Yeah,
there.
he always
Assigned seating.
Alan always sits next to
Well,
Fred.
who knows what, if Fred shows up next week
Alan kind of likes
with
Fred.
something that points the other way, and it'll be on a much,
Oh,
grander
we're talking
stage.
drive-in
Yeah,
movie
right.
time, baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one's going to miss it. You might, Alan Cox might have started something he doesn't want to finish.
When's he on anyway, Fred? In the morning?
Fred is on at 10 o'clock
Fred's
here.
on all the time.
And
That's
yeah,
why we
it's
don't
all
get to see
Fred all the time.
Okay.
All right, so you don't have any explanation for your disrespectful treatment of the media icon?
I had nothing to do with it.
All right. Alan Cox, by the way, will be not only on Cue, I assume, next week, but will be on Night Talk next week, along with a couple of other mutton heads.
What are you going to ask him?
I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever's left over from whatever lame crap.
Yeah, don't give it away.
All right.
That's your favorite word, lame.
Yes.
Do you realize you say that a lot?
It describes so much of what goes on around us.
It's like a
Accurately, does it not?
1975 high school.
Well, maybe I'm stuck in the high school of the 70s, Missy.
Do you like Bruce Springsteen?
Yes.
See, there we
I want
go.
to see. I'm going to see him. I can't.
You should go
Gotta get those tickets.
Yeah.
He's great.
Those tickets go on sale at 10 in the morning. I'll be in line somewhere.
Is the E Street Band with him? For
Yes.
Yes.
Clarence
Actually,
is
that's
back.
even more worth
Big
it.
Clarence blowing the big horn.
Who's anybody opening? Do you know who's opening?
No, nobody's opening. It's
He'll play a long
and
time.
it's at, I guess it's the Mellon Arena, whatever you call it, Civic Arena.
It's
Igloo
still the Mellon
thing.
Arena.
Yeah.
You will definitely be revived.
Why don't
It is.
people,
Like a
that,
rocket
how much
revival.
does a seat cost? How much does a seat
I
cost?
think
How
they're
much
like
do you know?
$75 for the most.
Okay, so somebody spends $75 for a ticket for a seat that they can never sit in.
Oh, because everybody's always standing up in front of them?
Yeah. What is the point?
Yeah, well, if I'm seeing like Crosby, Stills,
You're
Nash
paying
and
for
Young, which,
space.
by the way, I am, I want to be able to sit down for a while.
You
But
can't because some idiot in
but I
front of
want
you
to stand up
You
for
don't
Bruce.
want to sit down
It's
for Bruce.
Man, you are an
paying to
Asian
get
baby
in.
boomer.
You'd be dancing.
You're going to be dancing. You're
You
having
would be
a
dancing. I
darn
can
good
see
time.
her dancing.
Oh,
People
yeah.
would be saying, Cullen, sit
Why,
down.
back in my day, even the hippies sat down. You sit down. You
That's
pay for
because
a
they
seat
were
and
so
use
high
it.
they couldn't
I don't
stand up.
know, it's
And
not
then you just
true.
pray you're not in front of the guy that goes, Bruce, Bruce, all night.
See, that's why I can't go to these things anymore.
No?
Bruce wants to play a nice little club somewhere, and I can get a ticket.
Yeah,
When was the last one you went to? Last concert you went to?
Remember the decade?
The Rolling Stones.
The one here,
Yeah.
Yeah.
within the last year.
No.
No,
The one before it.
Steel Wheels tour?
Yeah.
Oh, in Three Rivers was that? Oh, okay.
That was a good
Yeah, I saw that. I
concert.
saw that in Jacksonville. Yeah, it was great.
It was a very good concert.
What about you? Do you ever see anything? You're just sitting there like a Republican. What was the last concert you saw?
Yanni.
Oh, God.
Tony Bennett. I don't know.
Was not
That was
Tony
such an
Bennett.
appropriate
It
answer.
might have been Tony Bennett.
Was it? He is good. No, you're right. He is hot. I would pay money to see Tony Bennett.
Yeah.
There you go. See, now the last concert I saw was John Pizzarelli.
Is that right? Who is that?
I know, I'm right there with you, but I don't want to look too lame.
All right. Hey, not to get off on anything else, but have you heard about this program by some woman by the name of Barbara Harris who has formed an organization called CRACK?
Yes.
An acronym which I can't remember what the hell it stands for, but you get money if you are addicted to drugs to be sterilized or go on birth control. And Dr. Laura is among those who back it. They want people addicted to drugs to be sterilized because, and the alleged rationale is that if you're a crack baby, I guess it takes about $1 million to take care of you, or so they say. So is that a good idea? Should we sterilize all the people addicted to drugs?
After they're sober, I would ask them.
They'll pay you $200 too, by the way.
But I mean,
How much do they pay
should
you?
go
They'll pay you
through rehab.
$200.
Oh, now wait a
I know.
minute.
Shouldn't it be at least like?
They pay you $200
Yeah.
to be sterilized?
That's what I read in the paper.
That's crazy.
And so if somebody's addicted to crack and you give them $200, what are they going to do with that?
Well, that's what
Buy
I'm
crack.
thinking.
Oh, that is
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Maybe
agree
it's
with
more
Lynn.
complicated. She will be in Pittsburgh in a couple of weeks, so we can ask her perhaps.
Why don't they spend all this effort trying to help the people get off crack?
Thank you very much.
Because Dr. Laura and her crew want to just start sterilizing the people they don't like.
They're so punishing. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Help them.
Are they feeling defeat? Are they saying that this is a defeatist thing? That if you do try to get them sober, it's not going to happen. So why don't you just
They're saying
skip the middleman and go straight to
the buzz phrase is I care more about children than I do, an ethical debate.
then adopt a crack baby.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you very much.
what about the point though that Carolee's making that says basically, these people maybe have been on the drug, are not getting off the drug. I don't know. I mean, I don't think sterilization is a good idea.
We interrupt this program for an emergency announcement. Big Freddie Hansberger is on the phone and he's hopping mad.
Oh no.
Fred, go ahead.
Oh, no.
What are you doing?
Hey, what's Cullen doing on this?
I knew it. I knew he was going to come at me.
Or it's just taking all of my private time. I can't do it. Now she's showing up on your show. She's everywhere. She can't decide anything. I'm not going to do this. I don't need this. Oh, what are you doing tonight, Lynn? Huh?
We pay her twice as much as Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood crew.
Fred, thank you for missing
But what
me,
about
Fred.
Alan Cox dissing you there on the show with that horrible display of dissing a media icon?
Alan's cool. He's fine. There's no problem. He works for a rock and roll station that drugs and music has messed his mind up. It's you can't accept that.
He's a crack baby.
That mindless metal rock and roll.
Okay, thanks so much. But anything else, Fred?
No, he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
It was a fun thing. I'm glad you're having fun with it. Lynn, I can't believe you. Hi, Carol Lee. How are you?
All right.
Senator Hart,
fine.
you really are a
Hey,
favorite.
Fred.
Ladies and gentlemen, a rebuttal now from Alan Cox, the disrespectful guy who doesn't care about no media icon.
Thanks.
I'm just a
Onsberger Live, Monday, 10 o'clock. I'll be there.
Oh, all right, Fred.
All right, yeah, Fred's here. Let's take a break, shall we? Fred's here at 10. We'll be back in a moment with Groovy Chick Free for all night and Yabba Dabba Doo and stuff like that there. Back on Night Talk.
Heart to heart rate.
Groovy Chick Free for all night with Alan Cox and his entourage providing a studio audience.
We got to work on the younger
What
audience.
a lame title.
What do you mean what a lame title? It's a great
Groovy
title.
Chick Free for all.
What free-for-all is going on? I mean, aside from the fact that
Yeah.
Free for all's going on. We're all talking at once. We're excited. We're pumped, full of adrenaline.
But you're the one who brought up all the subjects.
And your point is?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's your show.
excuse me.
If it was a free-for-all, you know.
Uppity, groovy chicks.
Oh, I like it.
That's
All right,
probably
because you can
better.
say that with, yeah, I can get away with that. All right, I don't know what, okay, well, let's, I will let you choose the next topic to pick, and here is a multiple choice possibilities. New Orleans police are cracking down on flashing during Mardi Gras. For
You know,
all right, we'll get away from that. I said you could pick another one. Jesse Jackson is going to go get an HIV test, and he's challenging President Clinton.
Is that true?
And other White House candidates to do it. Just to set an example for the young people of
That
America.
everybody's supposed to go
We
get
should
an
all
HIV
get, I guess
test?
so, yeah.
Assuming they're all having
like
recreational
Do you like that one? All right, what do you think of that one? Is
I
that,
think that's a grand idea.
Since all the candidates for president are married,
Well, that doesn't
What the hell does that have to do with
That's just
anything?
a way to get DNA.
You're a naive Republican, for God crying out loud.
not really. I mean,
No?
one would hope
Well, that's
that
right.
they
You've been
wouldn't
around.
be
What am I thinking?
having risky. Oh, anyway, participating in something risky, you know.
But the point is, he just wants them to set an example for all the young folk.
Okay.
That they should be aware that that exists, and perhaps they should be
No,
tested
that's not why
occasionally.
he's doing it.
Why
I think
is
maybe
it
they
then?
ought to take
Put people on the
IQ
spot
tests.
and get in the news.
What about IQ tests instead of HIV tests?
That's a good idea.
Good idea.
How about, according to the Tribune Review,
An
the city of
emotional
Pittsburgh,
IQ test.
the city of Pittsburgh is $1.6 billion in debt, and they're not cutting enough expenses, and they can't raise taxes because they have no testicles. And what the hell are they going to do? Is that scary?
Yes.
That's scary.
It's not just Dickie Cougar Mellencave picking on
No, it's
little
scary.
Tommy Murphy, is it? It's real, isn't it?
No,
It's
it's
a real
not Tommy
debt.
Murphy.
Yeah.
Tom Murphy has floated a whole bunch of great ideas to cut costs to that city council, and they poo-poo every one.
Really?
The garbage fee
Poo
for one.
poo.
Every
The
one.
problem is they're using credit cards for everything.
Right.
Got to consolidate.
Worse. They're
So-
mortgaging our house over and
So
over
it's the
again.
council's fault, not the madcap leprechaun.
I think that the mayor has made some serious good faith efforts to get some things through council, and council rejects everything.
So is that Bobby O'Connor or just the whole hee-haw gang?
Oh, it's not Bob O'Connor.
No?
No, I think it's the whole gang.
Wow.
Are you giving us
Taking her.
inside information?
No, you look at the votes. Look at the things that Murphy talks about. I mean, you know, just
What does he talk about? Fifth and fourth. Tear things down.
Further.
Eminent domain.
cut
money.
Get the hell
cut
out.
staffing.
Leave or
do,
I'm coming
you
after
know,
you.
He's trying to do things.
I think that's an
cut.
attempt at trying to get some maleness going.
What's that?
Eminent domain.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody goes,
Sounds very masculine.
Here's some other possible topics with time running out.
You live in the city.
Yeah. What's your point? I live
You
on the north
upset?
side. I live 5 minutes from here. Am I upset about the debt?
I live 8 minutes
I'm scared
from
to
here,
death
not in the
that
city.
as Bob O'Connor said in the Tribune Review article, it's political suicide to do anything about it, and that they all think that, and that's all most of them care about. So
Boy, that's a
we're
lot
all
of
going to hell in a
leadership, huh?
handbasket. At
There's
least he's
leadership.
honest, though. That's all I
No,
can think of.
sorry.
He is honest.
Well, that's what he said. I'm really sorry.
He did say that. He's going to be on the show Wednesday. Maybe he'll say more.
Maybe you ought to ask him about it more.
We got this guy, John Thompson. He's going to run the Pittsburgh school system.
I like
He hails from Tulsa, where I was.
Good luck to him.
He seemed like a competent
Good
guy
guy.
there, from
Good luck to him.
however you can tell,
Yeah.
you know.
That board is so extraordinarily still dysfunctional. I think it's outrageous that the 2 votes against him held. You don't bring a new guy in without making it a unanimous vote. And what was it, Gene Fink and Darlene Harris should be ashamed of themselves. They've already started it off on a bad foot. It's just, that board makes me nuts.
And I thought the tone of the coverage was that they were going to give him independence and autonomy, but is that
That
a dream?
board is incapable of doing that. They micromanage, they niggle, and you
Watch
know,
your
they have
language there.
driven more superintendents crazy. There's a good district there. There are great schools, great teachers, involved parents. And this guy seems like he's potentially a good superintendent. God help him.
Are these people, these school board members, full-time or something?
Well, you know, it's a volunteer job.
Well, where do they find their time to do this? To be picky-unish like this? I don't know.
There was a woman named Dr. Doreen Virtue here earlier the week. She's an expert on angels. She said my grandfather is sitting over my left shoulder hanging out with me. You guys believe in
And a
that
nice
stuff?
fella he is.
How you doing, Grandpa?
Oh, I had her on my show once, and she
she spoke to me
She
about
saw
that.
somebody over here for me too, and I forget.
So what do you think? Was there somebody over there? Is there somebody over
nonsense.
here?
Yeah, really?
Oh, you're no fun.
Oh.
I see Jennifer
I
Lopez's
suppose you're going to tell me
right over here. Oh, jeez. Gosh.
You all right?
So yeah, so I kind of believe in this little spirit guide stuff.
Does it make you feel good to think your grandfather is there? Did you like your grandfather?
Yes, I did. He was a swell fellow.
Which one?
The one on my mother's side.
Okay.
That's nice.
Well, if you
Why do you ask which one?
Well, I was wondering if he was like a little leprechaun guy.
No, a little leprechaun guy. No, as a matter of fact, he was a German guy. My mother's maiden name was Fuhrer.
Well, he's definitely.
Oh my gosh, that's really pure.
Yeah, F-U-H-R.
I mean, if you believe in this, scientifically, okay, truth is, scientifically, and there's no way around it, energy never dies, it transfers. Now, if you believe when you die, the energy that you have and the spirit that you have and the soul that you have just goes away, it can't. By the law...
Yeah, but it doesn't go hanging out around somebody's shoulder.
That's what I want to know. And if I become somebody's guardian angel, do I have to hang around somebody's shoulder the whole damn time? Can I float around to a couple planets or something?
Why, certainly.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. This energy thing, I don't think so.
It's true. Nobody
It's
knows.
true. Energy
I'll just
does-
carry
Well, you park your car.
Nobody knows.
You park your car.
Yeah?
Nothing's going anywhere. Your car's staying right where you put it.
Now, the
Hopefully,
energy-
or you're in
energy
big trouble.
Well, what happens is the energy from the motion of your car, actually, it'll transfer into heat. It'll transfer
What are they
into all
talking
these
about?
other things.
I don't know. I think it's masturbation, but we're out of time. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much. Groovy Chick Free for all night. You were all wonderful. Back in a moment with the commentary. Stay with us on PCNC. See? Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's commentary. This is not what the madcap leprechaun Mayor Murphy had in mind when he was trying to figure out how to attract more young people to Pittsburgh, a San Diego-based website which advertises cool places to have public sex, apparently primarily of the homosexual variety, says you haven't lived unless you've done the nasty in the bathroom at the Carnegie Mellon University Cathedral of Learning. Yes, sirree, nothing getting the love juices flowing like the smell of urine and feces. Will somebody explain to me the romantic or sexual allure of urinals? Meanwhile, some married heterosexuals never have sex. Take Rick and Darva Rockwell, please. Darva actually said she didn't have sex with Mr. Multimillionaire because she hardly knew him. Oh, sure, she'll marry the girlfriend-beating nutball, but doing the dirty deed, that's where she draws the line. The ethics and standards of brainless bimbos of the new millennium. There's a new Fox show in there somewhere. Meanwhile, 3 black Secret Service agents are suing the government claiming discrimination. They say they've been denied promotions. Also, allegedly, they never get to go bimbo hunting for Clinton, and only the White House agents, the white ones, get the bimbo leftovers. Meanwhile, diet experts argued among themselves at the Agriculture Department this week in what is clearly a national conspiracy designed to confuse me. I used to eat grapefruit. Now I've learned fruit bad. Too many carbs. Same with pasta and bread. The other experts say meat only will kill your innards. I thought veggies were good, but some of them contain evil carbs as well. Of course, you rarely see a fat vegetarian, but they always look a little pale. Warning, vegetarianism can result in becoming terminally groovy. Meanwhile, Dr. Laura says it's time to rip the ovaries out of the drug addicts. Yes, sirree, she's back in a program to sterilize drug addicts. I cannot believe such a harsh measure would be proposed by such a compassionate lady. Of course, she got to have her wild life, taking them naked pictures with the man who she slept with while she was married, but that was back in her younger, wilder days before terminal hypocrisy set in. That's life in the new millennium for you. Get crazy when you're young, feel guilty when you're a little older, call a radio show, get yelled at by a hypocritical, sanctimonious right-wing bigot, and then reform. Is this a great country or what? It looks like Sammy the Bull Gravano is going to jail after being nailed for allegedly heading up a drug ring. Enthusiastic inmates anticipating Gravano's prison arrival have already proposed re-nicknaming him Sammy the Sheep Gravano. And locally, they're more into drugs than sex in the Allegheny County Jail. A man was found dead of an apparent heroin overdose. He had a syringe, marks in his arm, little packets of blue tissue consistent with heroin packaging. Yet, jail warden Calvin Lightweight contends there are no drugs in his jail. Lightweight offered no further comment, opting instead to put his head immediately back into the sand. Or was it up his butt? And that's commentary, ladies and gentlemen. David Johnson is here. David, did you see all those groovy chicks we had there?
It was wonderful. It was groovy. Did you earlier say CMU, Cathedral of Learning? Was that a...
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't they have one there? Or did
University of Pittsburgh is the Cathedral of Learning.
Say that again?
Pitt.
Really?
Yeah.
I could have sworn that the article I read
The
said
tall, 500-foot tall classroom building.
Is it
That's
not?
Pitt.
It's not at Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah.
Well, I got to find out which
CMU
freaking
doesn't have a
bathroom
tall
is the great
building,
one to
it's
have public sex in and nail this down beyond a shadow of a doubt. Oh, they share that? Dickie, the
They
controller,
share it, but
says
it's on the
it's a
Pitt
shared-
campus, Dick.
But it's on the Pitt
It's
campus,
on the Pitt
David
campus.
says. But they share
I don't know that.
says,
I don't know
Dick.
that Pitt is willing to give that to CMU in any.
I bet they are now.
Oh!
All right, see you Monday with Consumer Credit Card Counseling Caca. David Johnson straight ahead with 10 o'clock news. So long.